Welcome. In this video, we begin our first section, which is R2, Review of Fractions. Now, the first topic we're going to address here is simplifying fractions. And the key to working with fractions, especially in terms of simplifying, is a result known as the fundamental principle of fractions. What that says is if we have something and we have a common piece, we can just cancel it out. It's gone. And now we just have A over B. So we're allowed to divide out common factors out of both top and bottom. Okay. Consider, for example, the fraction 12 over 30. Now, in practice, you don't usually write it this way, but I'm going to write it using this fundamental principle. And that is, I can realize that 12 and 30, I can take a 6 out of both. So I can rewrite both of those as 2 times 6 and 5 times 6. And then the 6 can cancel out as a common factor. That's just showing the fundamental principle, fully written out. Now, in practice, we usually don't write it out that way. We usually don't write out 2 times 6, 5 times 6. We just go ahead and cancel 6 out of the top and bottom. But this is just to show you how it works. Now, one quick caution. If you look in your textbook at the helps on how to do this, they're going to do something like this, where they're going to use what's called prime factoring. That's really just going way overboard. You don't need to do that much work. So just be aware, though, if you look at the textbook, that's what they're going to show you to do. I prefer to just go through it as we did here and just canceling stuff out. But your textbook will show you this longer way of doing things. So just be aware of that when you go into the helps. I'm actually going to show you here in a moment another way to simplify fractions. It's using what I refer to as birthday cake division. Birthday cake division. So to see how that works, let's consider an example here, going back to that 12 over 30. And so what we do is we write those two numbers down. And then we do division upside down. So I take my 12 and a 30 and say, hey, I can take a 2 out of both of those. You also could have started by dividing a 6 out. But here I'm just going to divide a 2 out. That gets me to 6 and 15. And then when I look at 6 and 15, I ask myself, hey, what can I take out of 6 and 15? I can take a 3 out. And we just keep dividing like this until we get down to an answer where we can't divide anything more out. So here we're down to the 2 and the 5. And of course, that means that's our answer. X is equal to 2/5. As you're working through these examples with the videos, as you need to, you can pause the videos to kind of catch up. So be sure to make use of that as you need to. Consider another example here, 24 over 45. So once again, I can write down my 24 and 45 as a pair together here. And then I look for something that I can take out of both. In this case, I realize I can take out a 3. So I go ahead and do that, dividing 3 into both 24 and 45. And when I do that, 24 divided by 3 is 8. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Now I'm down to an 8 and a 15, which I can't break up any further. So that's going to be my answer, 8 over 15. The nice thing about doing this birthday cake division is you kind of see all of your work. And you can see how everything cancels out in the problem. We have one more example here which is a little bit more involved. 28 over 126. So once again we write down our numbers and we look for something we can take out of both of those. And one of the things I recognize is that they're both even, so I can divide a 2 out of both. That gets me down to 14 and 63. And then at this point I can say, hey, let's divide 7 out of both of those, because 7 will go into both 14 and 63. Now I'm down to 2 and 9, which I cannot reduce any further. And so therefore that must be my answer, 2 over 9. Okay, so in the next video we're going to review a little bit about how adding and subtracting works. And then we'll move on to review as well multiplication and division, continuing to work with fractions here.